Hello and welcome to Console Tours, taking you to the real-life locations behind your favorite games.
So, I have a lot to talk about now. Hearthhome, Solaceon, and Pastoria collectively, as well as the Mount Coronet region, represent the areas of Hokkaido with the southeast, central to southeast section of Hokkaido, which is primarily farmland, animal husbandry, animal rearing, horse breeding, horse racing, and agriculture. I know I repeated myself a lot. I'm just very excited. Because this is where I lived! Yes! So, these three towns collectively represent the Tokachi, Kushiro, and Hidaka regions of Hokkaido. I, personally, lived in a small town in the Hidaka region called Urakawa, which geographically on a Sinnoh map would be just south of Pastoria, although Pastoria kind of took all of the towns and villages and areas spread along the southern coast of Hokkaido and sort of smushed them together into one. So when I ask, when I tell someone that I'm from Sinnoh or I lived in Sinnoh, I specifically do tell them that I lived in Pastoria. But all three of these towns have a lot to do with this area of Hokkaido. Obihiro, I believe if you had to do a specific one-to-one, then Hearthhome would be Obihiro, Solaceon would be Kushiro or Ashoro, and then Pastoria would be everything south of Kushiro, all kind of wrapped up into one singular town.
And so one thing from the game that I'm wondering if there's any real world equivalent of it is the unknown ruins of Solaceon. Are there any strange ruins nearby?
Yes, but I know exactly. We know what they are, but they are strange.
What are they?
There are the ruins, and oh my god, I'm blanking on the name of the town, and I'm gonna remember it later. And
also, these are unknown ruins because they're full of unknown, not that we don't know what they are.
Oh.
Yeah, so if I went in here, we'd get in. But yeah, go ahead.
Because there is a town in this section of Hokkaido that was initially selected to be the home of Japan's space exploration program. And they were going to build a research facility and a space launching pad, like a shuttle launch pad there. And they never built them because financially it fell through. The government decided to prioritize other things. But there's this whole area of partially built space facilities. And I would say that's probably what that is. And the town that was going to be home to the Space Center, to the space program, that's still, what they advertise themselves as being, their town's charm point today. They still have shuttles and rockets on all of their signs, their rest stop is named something like Moonbase or something. They get a lot of mileage out of we were almost where Japan's space program was.
Are there any, big sort of, this is another big place for ghost tapes, and as we're about to see, this is a Zubat, but no, this is a pillar full of graves. Is there anything like that?
I mean, I would say just in general, similarly, there is a lot, like I said earlier, the abandonment culture of Hokkaido, all of these weird, creepy, abandoned locations that are everywhere and that people like to explore. So, these are three different towns, the Hearthhome, Solaceon, and Pastoria, that they kind of, they all represent a similar part of Hokkaido, but what are the differences between these three towns? What gyms do they have? What's their theme?
So Solaceon has no town, but it is where your,
no gym.
No gym in the town, but it is where your Pokemon breeder is.
Oh, that fits so well with, animal husbandry and, so much of also, Japan's livestock.
Just south of it is this particular weird ruin, which, the Hallowed Tower, which is where the pseudo-legendary, one of the pseudo-legendaries, Spiritomb, can be found.
Ooh, creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so so much of Japan's livestock comes from this particular section of Hokkaido. So the breeder being there makes absolutely perfect sense. I mean, if you drink milk that was made in Japan, or you eat cheese that was made in Japan, odds are it came from Hokkaido. And odds are even greater it came from this section of Hokkaido. One of the only, like I said, only pieces of manga and anime to ever cover Hokkaido, Silver Spoon, actually takes place in this area. If you have not read Silver Spoon or watched Silver Spoon, you really should. It's the story of a young man who goes to an agricultural college, and it is one of the best portrayals of Hokkaido I've ever seen. And it's adorable, and you learn so much about animals. It's surprisingly educational, and it's like a major cult classic in Hokkaido. Like, everyone has read Silver Spoon. Everyone knows about Silver Spoon. Like, there are Silver Spoon movie screenings and, like, Silver Spoon episode screenings at movie theaters sometimes. And in Obihiro, which is specifically the Hearthhome city, there are just, like, they're all in the characters from Silver Spoon are everywhere, like, on the advertising. You'll see posters and billboards of them. Sometimes not even advertising anything, just, hey, Silver Spoon is here!
I mean, it's advertising itself through
Yeah.
Silver Spoon. Also, as a point of interest for people who might not otherwise be interested in it, Silver Spoon is drawn by the same person as Full Metal Alchemist and looks almost exactly the same.
But it should be interesting enough that it's about Hokkaido agriculture.
Oh no, I mean, okay, I'm just gonna fly there after this. I could have sworn I thought...
But yeah, this area looks very familiar to me. Like, as weird as it sounds, given that it's all kind of pixely, you know, this is Hokkaido. This is my home. I mean, it was a mix of kind of different environments. There were mountains, there were fields, there were rivers and lakes and kind of marshlands, there was the ocean. Specifically in my town, Urakawa, the people who lived there and in the other kind of coastal towns along, like, squeezed between the Pacific Ocean and the Hidaka Mountains are specifically referred to as, like, mountain ocean people, with the joke that we're, like, indecisive and we can never, like, we don't fit in with groups because we're not of the mountains or of the ocean. People from that area are kind of stereotyped as very independent, very not fitting in with the group, necessarily. So this is Hearthhome, right?
Yeah.
Hearthhome is based on Obihiro, and Obihiro is a wonderful town that I love and spent so much time in. It is a city, but significantly smaller than either Sapporo or Asahikawa, and it is known for, I believe now, being the only place in the world, as of now, that they do a specific type of horse racing called Ban-e Keiba. Ban-e Keiba is a special type of horse race where draft horses, like you think like the Clydesdales, like the large, I think the Budweiser horses,
yeah.
the large horses with the big heavy feet, they race along a elevated track. It starts out flat, and then there are like elevations in the middle, while carrying or pulling a weighted sled behind them. So it is a combination of weight-bearing racing and a non-flat, non-even track. So that is Ban-e Keiba. It's amazing. I love it so much. You can get a pass to an entire day's worth of races for only 100 yen, which is $1. And they run about 5 or 6 races, and in between the races, you can actually go up and meet the horses. Like, they will keep them in stalls around, like, the racetrack area, and you can go up and pet them and meet them, and they're so friendly and adorable. I have had many, many fun times at Ban-e Keiba. I doubt they specifically represented that in any way in Hearthhome. I'm gonna guess they did not.
That one, no.
It's just my personal favorite thing about Obihiro. It also has Rally Japan, the world route, the car racing. I know absolutely nothing about about car racing, so I can't really talk about it. It's known for its beautiful, beautiful fall foliage. It's considered to be some of the most photographable, if that's a word, fall foliage in Japan. So you really want to go to this area in the fall where you can take pictures of these amazing trees. It has a chrysanthemum festival in October, which is which is a festival celebrating the flower that is most frequently seen in this area. It has a flat plain festival, which is one of those festivals that's just Japan having an excuse to make a festival, because it's a festival about flatlands and being flat. So tell me about this city.
Okay, so Hearthhome or Hearthhome, I'm not quite sure. It's probably Hearthhome, because they like the puns. But yeah, it's, it doesn't actually, other than having the major Pokemon contest arena here, for the generation, there's not a whole heck of a lot to it.
But the Pokemon contest, again, still fits very well with kind of Obihiro being known for animal-based competitions and animal showings, so that fits.
The other thing that it has going for it is the Amity Park, where you can take cute Pokemon, which, you know, they're notoriously limited. Should, or Amity Square.
Oh wow, that is a short list.
Oh, Clefairy, okay, I can... Oh,
why do they limit it to cute Pokemon?
I don't know. But I do have a Clefairy still on this save file. I transferred, like, most of them.
It doesn't have a gym because it has the Pokemon...
it does have a gym.
That's what type?
Ghost.
Yeah, fitting.
And the gym leader is I want to say she participates in all of the contests, but she's also a famous opera singer, I believe. In the US version, she is from France. In the Japanese version, she is heavily implied to be an American. Hold on, let's see if, where is she? Here's her gym, over here.
That particular...
Altine.
Oh, that's a name.
Yeah.
But the house next to you just looks very much like a house that you... Not the one you're currently in, but the house with the tall roof that was next to you looks like a building that you would see in Obihiro.
Yeah.
Just the architecture style just matches that one.
Yeah.
That looks like something that I've... Like, they do a real... They're impressing me so far with how well they've done with, like, even making the architecture and the coloration match up to Hokkaido. Like, it's clear that the people who made this game, they spent a lot of time in Hokkaido, thinking about Hokkaido, you know, researching Hokkaido. I will say that I'm more impressed than I thought I was going to be, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, so this is how the gym works, essentially.
And in Hearthhome City, can you eat the world's best pork bowl?
If you could eat in this game, I'm sure you could.
Because yes, that's another thing that Obihiro is famous for. Really, really good pork. I don't know what they, like, glaze it with. It's like some sort of secret recipe, but... Oh, good pork. Like, if you ever go to Obihiro, just eat pork. Don't eat anything else. It's not worth it. Just get yourself Butadon every meal. Not even kidding. Just only Butadon.
So each of these, yeah. Huh. I thought there's supposed to be a trick to this. I guess maybe because I've already beaten it, I can't run through it properly, but, I was just gonna try and show off how it worked. But there's supposed to be a correct door and not, and I'm just... Is there any, like, sort of weird theater aspect of this city, or...?
Not really. I would say this entire section of Hokkaido is best known for agriculture and agricultural-based festivals and competitions.
It is really interesting that they decided to have a ghost-based, you know, like, theater-themed gym leader then.
Yeah.
There's one other really interesting thing in this city that I want to look at, and it's this. And this is a church. It's explicitly a Pokemon church.
What do they worship in?
Essentially, it's...
Oh, come on. Like, what is the religion? This is not something I've ever considered. What is the religion of Pokemon?
I mean, in this case, it's essentially that all creation started at the top of Mount Coronet.
Nice.
And this one gym is responsible for a lot of very reductive sort of labeling of what's the actual like big legendary of the generation. Who's I can't believe I'm forgetting this, and it's gonna come to me like
What, Giratina?
no, not Giratina. The one that can become any type. The one that type null is based off of.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know Pokemon names
and
either.
My brain is.
I am here because I want to talk about Hokkaido, not because I know anything about Pokemon.
Yeah.
I will say that my favorite Pokemon is Mudsdale, and that the horses that are used in Bane Keiba racing in Obihiro, just imagine a bunch of Mudsdales. And you've got it. Arceus, okay.
A lot of Pokemon fan games sort of take Arceus worship to be a sort of monotheistic Christianity replacement.
I will say, while I don't think that is based on a location in Obihiro specifically, the idea of like a Western architecture church is something present in Hokkaido, especially in the kind of southwestern curving Whaletail part of Hokkaido, which ended up becoming an entirely different Pokemon region.
Yes.
And especially in Hakodate, you see architecture influenced by Russian and other Eastern European settlers who lived in Hokkaido / did business with Hokkaido. So the idea of a Western church in a Hokkaido-based region is a very accurate one.
These two fountains that are what you will see when you first come into this place, probably, is, the first time that you come into this town, it's through the south, so, are there, like, twin fountains?
Not specifically, but, I mean, a lot of towns have your kind of main square, main drag, with fountains being very common. But yeah, the architecture of this town is so accurate to its real counterpart.
Okay. But I think that's everything to talk about in the fictional counterpart of this town.
Alright.
So let's head down to...
Pastoria?
Let's
go home. One thing I just want to say is we'll be making more videos about this, but hey, if you have any questions about living in Hokkaido, about the connections between Sinnoh and Hokkaido, about how the heck did you end up in Hokkaido in the first place, like, hey, reach out to me. I'm on Twitter @derletztentons. I'm on GameLuster under my name, Kate Mitchell, so just, heck, reach out to me, because I love talking about Hokkaido and everything to do with it. Obviously, it's a place that I'm passionate about, that I've shared so much of my life with, so, yeah, talk to me about Hokkaido.
And if you have any suggestions for future episodes after we finish up looking at Sinnoh and the other Hokkaido-related areas, let us know, and we can see if we can get some console tours going.